Hi, it's Ashleigh from Sweet Dreams Bake Shop, and today we're going to be making a raspberry and strawberry pie. You can really use whatever fresh or frozen fruit that you would like for this. It's perfect for New Year's or Valentine's Day. It's a super versatile dessert and lends well to anything that is in season. Don't worry if this is going a bit fast for you. I will put all of the ingredients down in the description box below. Basically, all you need to do is take your fruits, some granulated sugar, a little bit of cornstarch to thicken things up, and a squeeze of lemon juice, and heat it on medium heat until you get to about this consistency, and then you want to let it cool down. I always generously butter my pie pan. It also adds a nice flavor as well as prevents sticking. The pie crust recipe that I'm using today is an all butter pie crust. It is absolutely fantastic. I will put the link down in the description box below. The key to making this pie crust is really just to make sure that you keep everything nice and cold. When you're rolling your pie crust, or any dough for that matter, you always want to keep it moving. I always make just a bit more crust because I do like to have a lot of overhang, so all I'm doing here is I am tracing and I'm leaving about a 1 to 1.5 inch border all the way around. Then what you're going to do is make sure that you pat that really nicely into the pie pan so that there are no gaps or spaces. And then go ahead and tuck in that edge. Now you could get really fancy here and you could do shapes on the border. I'm just going to be pinching it with my fingers, and I'm not too concerned with what the edge looks like because I'm actually more focused on the meringue decor. Be sure to dock your pie, and all this really does is it prevents any large air bubbles from occurring, and it also helps a little bit with shrinkage. Be sure to chill your pie for at least 30 minutes in the refrigerator, and then you're going to take some parchment and put some rice or beans on top. You can also use pie weights, but make sure that you have a significant amount so that they actually go all the way up the sides of the pie. If you don't, things will shrink in. Here I'm separating some egg whites so that I can prepare that for my meringue, as well as have those egg yolks so I can do my egg wash right now. Now you don't have to add the heavy whipping cream, but I just find the egg yolk with the whipping cream gives it a really nice shiny quality. Make sure to generously brush that all over your pie. And yes, it will look underbaked at this point. You're going to bake it even further after this. While that's baking and cooling down, I'm going to get started on my meringue here. It's approximately 4 egg whites, or you could use 3 if it's large egg whites, and then I'm pouring that in. Now the sugar and water mixture was heated to about 244 to 245 degrees Fahrenheit. You'll want to have a stand mixer for this because you do need those egg whites whipping up before you pour that sugar and water mixture in. Of course, you can do it with a handheld mixer. It's just a little bit more difficult. I have some white chocolate that I melted here. Now these are not candy melts. This is actually a really nice quality white chocolate, and I'm putting them into the sphere mold. You'll notice that it is quite thick. If I really wanted it to be super smooth on the inside, then I could thin this out with a little bit of vegetable oil and it would be really smooth. But I wanted this to be a nice thick shell, and I sometimes find adding vegetable oil just makes it slightly pliable. When your crust comes out of the oven and it is completely cooled, it will slide out super easily. Add in a generous amount of the filling. Now you do want to make sure that the filling is nice and cooled off before you add it into the pie shell here. If it's slightly warm, you'll probably be fine, but the colder the better. Then I fitted a piping bag with a classic 1M or a large star tip. I love using the metal type, and now I'm just piping my meringue. If piping isn't your thing and you love more of a rustic look, go ahead and pile that meringue on however you see fit, and you can even add little peaks to it with a spatula. I love making the meringue extra toasty. Now, if you don't have a brulee torch, which I didn't have for years, you can put this into the oven on broil. You just have to be super careful that you keep a watchful eye. In my experience, whenever I've done broiling in the oven, I really make sure to kind of leave the door open so I can keep an eye on it, and it takes about 30 seconds to a minute. To attach the sphere halves together, I'm sure if you've watched any hot chocolate bomb tutorials, you'll know how to do this. You just take a hot pan and make sure that both sides are nice and even, and then stick them together. And this way you'll also have no seam as well. I'm going to leave the large sphere open, and I'm going to fill it with some raspberries here. Everything in my garden right now is obviously not thriving. It's incredibly cold, it's been snowing, but this mint has been growing like crazy. And if you want to be extra fancy, go ahead and add some gold leaf. I always do it with chopsticks just because I find I get the most control that way. And it also makes it way easier when I want to take from a larger piece and put smaller bits elsewhere. This pie is tart and sweet, and that buttery crust that has really no extra sugar in it is absolutely fantastic. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you can be part of the Sweetie fam. Right now, I'm uploading daily, so make sure you hit that notification bell so you know when I upload. Also, be sure to comment, request, or ask a question. I love hearing from you guys.